Hey guys, welcome back to another Titus Diorama toy review. In this video we are going to be reviewing the 2018 X-Men Marvel Legends Wave 3 Build-A-Figure Apocalypse. So let's get to it. Alright guys, due to this being the Build-A-Figure of this wave and not a standalone figure, each individual piece that makes up Apocalypse of course came packaged with the figure from this wave, which of course you can see here. So let's quickly go over which part came with which figure in the order they are displayed on the back of the packaging. Alright guys, so we're going to start from left to right, starting with Wolverine, who came with the cables, Magneto, who came with the right arm, Gladiator, who came with his head, Sabretooth, who came with his left arm, Storm, who came with his torso, Multiple Man, who came with his right leg, Psylocke, who came with his left leg, and of course the standalone figure from this wave, who is Archangel, came with the extra hand piece. I'll show this off later. If you guys would like to see more in-depth reviews for each one of these figures, please check out my channel. I do have a playlist for this wave, including Archangel. And with that stated, guys, let's go ahead and take a more in-depth look of Apocalypse. Overall, guys, I have to say Hasbro did a really amazing job on this figure. Let's start off with talking about the sculpt. As you can see, the sculpt that they've used is unique to this particular figure. It's got a lot of great detail. You can see the muscle work, the veins, and they did just an amazing job. As far as I know, none of these pieces have been reused from previous Build-A-Figures. Now, as a quick side note, I do want to point out that at the time of this video, we are currently seeing the Caliban Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends X-Men Wave 4 being released in stores now, and the arms have been reused for that Caliban figure, minus the gauntlets. I also want to take a quick moment to talk about the secondary arm, or the claw, that you get with Archangel. It is very detailed. However, it does not have any paintwork on it at all, and I do think it could have used just a little bit of paintwork to bring out those fine details. Speaking of the paintwork on Apocalypse himself, there is very little. Basically just his head, the sides of his torso, the belt, and on his feet there are some painted areas. The marbling in the blue plastic looks very cool, and it makes it look more like metallic armor than if it was just a flat plastic. I also like how the plastic reflects the light sources in the room. It looks really cool. The figure literally looks like he just walked off the cover of one of the X-Men comic books, which is also extremely cool in my mind. Oh, and before I forget, I want to show him off with his arm accessory. It does turn and the claw does open and close. So you can get a few really cool poses. And it's really easy. The hand just pops off and you take off the other gauntlet and just peg this on to where the hand normally is. Alright guys, I know up to this point in time, all I've been doing is singing praises about this Build-A-Figure. And for good reasons. It's a really amazing figure. Now, that stated, there are a couple small imperfections with mine, and I do have one pet peeve. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about the imperfections. So the first one I have is that the paintwork on the back of the head isn't quite 100%. They did miss some spots, but it being on the back of the head, you don't really notice, and it's not that bad. The second one is that there is some scuffing on the paint right out of the box, and the seam line on this cuff isn't 100% straight on, so it is a little bit off. You can kind of notice that. Also, the peg in this foot is a little loose. My only pet peeve that I really have for this figure is his height. As you've probably seen in the intro when he was standing beside all the other wave mates, when he stands beside somebody like Gladiator or Sabretooth, he's not too much taller compared to standing beside one of the regular figures like Storm or even a smaller figure like Wolverine. In my comparison, you'll see him being stood beside Cyclops, Bishop, and Cable, and that'll be also a really good example of where I think he should be a bit taller. Bishop and Cable are maybe at his shoulders, so he's only about a head taller than they are. And in my mind, whenever I watch him in the cartoons or seen him on the pages of a comic book, he's been a lot taller than them. So I do think that if they made him about another inch taller, it would have worked out. But that stated, he's still really good, and I'm really happy to have him. Now guys, before we move on to the articulation, I would like to share some of my own thoughts and ideas I believe Hasbro could do with this figure in the future. In all honesty, I would like to see this same body mold reused with some retooling and coloring to give us an Apocalypse from the animated series. Now, something else I would like to see them continue to do is make figures of the four horsemen of Apocalypse. As you can see here, we have Archangel that they released. We do have the Caliban Build-A-Figure that's part of the current wave that's out on store shelves now. I would also like to see them do Abraham, Plague, Autumn, who represent War, Pestilence, and Famine from the animated series. It'd be really cool to see them come with additional arm pieces or weapon pieces for Apocalypse arms and come with their mechanized horses they ride within the show. I would also like to see them release a Hulk figure as War and a Wolverine figure as Death. And heck, while they're at it, why not give us an updated version of the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine? Overall, guys, I think it's really cool that they're already starting to do that, like I said, with the Caliban figure that is currently out. I do look forward to seeing many more figures that can go with this particular Apocalypse and being able to build out the four horsemen of Apocalypse. Alright guys, let's talk about articulation. First and foremost, he cannot look much higher than he already is, but he can put his head down this far. He can look both side to side, and he does have a little bit of swivel. The shoulder pads do move up to allow for his arms to go this far up. The arms can do, of course, a full 360. He does have the upper bicep swivel. He does not have any butterfly joints. His arms do about less than 90 degrees, basically because of the cuff. And they do go straight pretty far. He does have an abdominal crunch, which does allow him to move back and forth. The neck piece does move as well on him. He does have a hip swivel. He can kick this far forward. He can't really kick very far back. He can do pretty good splits. He does have upper thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees, which work really well. He does not have the upper boot swivel, and his ankles do allow him to point down, up, and they do give some swivel. So let's go ahead and move on to comparing him with some other figures that I have in my collection, including some of the other Build-A-Figures I have. Alright guys, and here is Apocalypse compared alongside to some of the other Build-A-Figures I have in my collection. And of course those are Juggernaut, Onslaught, and Ares. Now I want to make that slight note, as I said before, I do believe that Apocalypse should have been a little bit taller, so he'd be more in scale with these two guys here, but he's still a pretty good scale, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. Alright guys, and once again, here is Apocalypse with the rest of the wave, including the standalone Archangel. Overall, I'm very happy to add this figure to my collection. I have to admit, it has taken me a very long time to collect all the figures from this wave in order to build Apocalypse, but overall I'm satisfied. Not just with him, but with the wave as an entire whole. I highly suggest that if you get the chance to pick up either Apocalypse on his own or build him via the wave, to do so. I give him in the wave an 8 out of 10. Also guys, before we wrap this up, I just want to quickly mention I am looking to put together a video covering the Marvel Legends X-Men wave, starting from Juggernaut going right up to the current Caliban wave that's in stores now. If you would like to see me produce that video, please leave a comment in the comments field below so I can put a rush on getting that done. I do have some other reviews that I want to get it there for you as well. But as always guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, please click the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. And make sure you also click the bell notification so that you get notified with any new videos on either my dioramas or my toy reviews. And as always guys, stay nerdy.